This short video is on how to convert this beautiful old antique coffer or blanket box into a TV lift cabinet. Now, I'm not going to go through all the woodwork, but I am going to go through the design and assemble it all. But you'll also see some of the challenges that I faced with this particular design. You see, the problem was I needed a lift cabinet that was smaller when closed up than when it was extended. So this needed to be telescopic, whereas most of the lift cabinets that you see on the market, they're taller when they're closed up than they are in the amount that they'll extend. So this one I needed to be 500 high, but then travel 600. And normally they're the opposite way around. They're 600 high and will travel 500 or whatever, but they always travel less than they are in their closed up length. And I needed it the opposite way around. We wanted this to be lower than the bed, but the TV obviously to be higher than the bed. So you'll see how I overcame those problems. You'll also see some of the issues I had when making it, and I didn't always get it right. So I'll show you some of those as well. So let's get all the parts out and start assembling. The TV lift mechanism has to be attached to a backboard. So as you can see behind it, I've got my backboard all in place, and I'll show you how I attach the backboard to the insides of the coffer. I just use a little bit of 20mm square pine to attach the backboard to the sides of the coffer. And of course this is the wrong way round. It'll be facing the bed, not the window. So you'll not see these unless you actually open the TV cabinet itself and have a look in. So they should be nice and discreet, and you'll see that when I assemble it. Some of the other TV lift cabinets I've seen have a piano hinge that runs all along the top, and I didn't want that. It sticks out and it looks a bit unsightly. So I've experimented with these hidden hinges, and as you can see, they'll open 180 degrees, and when they're closed, there's nothing visible at all apart from a slight crack in the top of the wood. So you'll see I had a bit of a problem with those, and I'll show you that when I start to assemble it. There's a miscalculation. As you can see, I've ended up with this ledge, and I didn't intend to. I wanted this edge to be flush with this baseboard. But what I didn't allow for was the position of the lid when open, and that extra 20mm, the thickness of the lid. So I ended up with this little step, which is a bit unsightly, but no one will ever see it. It's worth saying that the rebates for these hidden invisible hinges take a little bit of practice. I must have done 5 or 6 before I felt confident to actually do it in the proper lid. It's very easy to go wrong, particularly if you've got a cheap router like me. As you can see, I've cut the top to create a gap, so I've cut it in 2 places. This is the middle bit that I cut out because I want the TV lift bit to open up, and I also want to be able to open this front bit to use it as storage area. So the trick was to try and work out the depth from the front of the TV to the backboard, and then that would be from here to here. That would determine where the first cut was. But that's the bit I got wrong because I didn't allow for the lid being open and then the width of the lid itself. I didn't take that into account. So I've had to move the baseboard back a little bit, and you'll see as I assemble it the problem that I encountered. So it's one to watch out for when you're designing your own. So let's now put it in place and see how it goes. In order to be able to get the baseboard vertical, I've cut these little stops that I'm putting at the bottom of the cabinet, and that will tell me that it's definitely 140mm at the bottom, and then I can measure 140mm at the top. Now, to get the cables in, I need to get the TV out of the way, so I just need to temporarily connect the power so I can lift it out of the way. See if it works. Okay, now we've got it all wired up and this is all squared up and in. we'll start to put the top on. So now that's done, we've just got to see whether the lift can actually open the TV and push the lid open, because it's a very heavy oak lift. Now, in order to be able to make it easier, they supply you with this bracket that pushes a little bit further into the lid. That actually reduces the force it needs to open it. I had to fit it in a different place to where they suggested it, but let's give it a go and see if it works. See if it will shut the lid as well on its way down. That's pretty good. Really, really pleased with that. So as you can see, the compromise with not going for the piano hinge are these two little gaps down here. You need those, otherwise it won't open fully, it balks on the edge. But I'm right chuffed with that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do please hit subscribe and the alert button if you want to see any more, and a quick advert for the next two that's going to come up. My wife and I have just finished making this really unusual curved ceiling for not very much money at all, so I'll show you how to do that. And there's also another project that I've filmed but haven't edited yet, which is a curved steam bent wooden seat. Bye for now though.